morning. Today we have a big, huge live stream. So I am gonna just jump right in because we have so much stuff and you can always rewatch from the beginning. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through all of my quilt alongs, all of my sew alongs. Some of these will be blocks I've made. Some will be completed quilts. We're just gonna go in the order of my book because that just makes the most sense to me. It'll keep me organized, but you'll see blocks, quilts, all kinds of things. We have some quilts to show you. We have a new block of the month by Tula Pink that we designed, and then we have a ton of new fabrics. So I'm just gonna jump right in, and I have my binder. And we're gonna start with number one. And number one was Petit Four, and here's my page for that. And it's all done. And this one's great because I don't have to hold it up. So Petit Four just came back from the quilter. We got it quilted by Maggie Honeyman, and the pantograph is a Baptist fan that's just really, really, really tiny. And so this is the free quilt along. You just needed the paper. We did this from October of 2024 until this year. And it's just a combination of the paper pieced blocks in the 4-inch size. And when we got it back, Teresa put the binding on for me. We just have to hand do the back. And I wanted to show you, this is really cool to show you how Teresa does her corners. So you can see, I have always just chopped this, like I just chop I always just would do this, like just chop a big triangle off. Well, she does this, and that's really what gives it a nice curve. So thank you to Teresa. She pieced it together for me when I was done, and then she's gonna do the binding. And this one, I'm not sure. I'm thinking I will put this on a table at Fat Quarter Shop just because it's so pretty. And this is kind of how it looks from the front. And then from the back, it's also a piece back that I think Sarah designed. And that's how it looks. And so one thing I did want to point out, if you look at this up close, when you do this tiny quilting, it is stiff as a box of rocks. And it really kind of takes out that batting feel and the softness. And I happen to love that. Some people do not. So just be careful if you're going to do something this tight of a quilting. Just know your batting is going to get smushed in there. It's very flat. It's not, it takes away any kind of puffiness. But I like this because I think it looks nice to decorate with. And then here is just my label. Hi, Mom. My mom is in chat. Okay. So that is number one. And number two, let's see. We have the 4-inch log cabin Scrappy. And so this is kind of something that I started last year, and I decided that I just love anything small and paper pieced. So any collection that has at least 5 colors that I have scraps of, I am going to make blocks. I think this quilt will probably not be done for like 3 or 4 years because the blocks are so small. You know, I'm gonna probably have to make 100 blocks and then come up with a design. So I made this one in the Shine Collection by Sweetwater. Dainty Meadow by My So Quilty Life. Rosemary Cottage by Camille Ross Kelly. Laguna Sunrise by Sherry and Chelsea. And Autumn by Lori Holt. So I have a total of 12. And I'm just keeping track of what I've done, and I have not drawn out yet my layout. But one thing I did want to point out is, like I said, there's got to be 5 colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm trying to not use any backgrounds or any light fabrics so that it's just a big bright quilt. And then this is just what I drew in electric quilt. So you can see I have something to start with when I get home and start drawing. Now, of course, if you look at it, I don't ever sew it exactly the same. It's just an idea to get me started. I did want to point out, if you look at this is on the straight. I intentionally cut this one on the bias and left this one on the straight because then it looks like you have two completely different prints in your collection. So here, one thing you could do here is if you had two ginghams in here, you could cut one straight and one on the bias. Here, you could do the same thing with the stripe. So that's just a little bit of, just a little tip. So this one's really fun. I have 12 done. And this will probably just be something that I just keep in my binder until I'm done. And then Enchanted Stars, these, I need 20 blocks on this one, and I have made 12. So I've shown you some. I'm going to show you the next few. This is a completely free pattern. And I'm going to show you my blocks, and then I'm going to show you kind of how I started with them. So this is Enchanted Stars. The blocks are pretty big. They're 14 by 23. Jocelyn designed this one. This is our Scrappy Quilt, Fat Quarter Shop Scrappy Quilt for 2024. These are those same collections. So this is Shine by Sweetwater. Now I am using right here the same background throughout the entire quilt. This is 20708-36, which is that white on white that I really love. So this is Sweetwater's collection. This is Dainty Meadow. Now, if I had to do this one again, I don't love the effect of this. I think I should have picked something less busy. I think that this is too close of a color. So if I had to redo it, I would redo that. I don't think that looks great. This one is Rosemary Cottage, and again, this is this one looks great because you can really see that contrast. This one is Laguna Sunrise. Now, I will say on this one thing I try to do, I really don't like purple, and so I tried to take any purple out. So you'll notice this doesn't have the purple except right here in these two prints. I really couldn't get away from doing some of the purple. This is Autumn by Lori Holt. And this is Grand Haven by Minnick and Simpson, and this is the one that I like the best. But what I wanted to show you, when I'm doing these, what I do is I do a different fabric in all of these spots right here. Everything's different, so I need to have that many different. This is consistent throughout because I just keep full bolts of this, so I just cut it off, starch it, and use what I need. And then this is just one fabric in the center. And I think it's a lot easier to draw out what you're going to do before you do it. So this is kind of, you know, just what I did. Angel did these for me. I haven't drawn this in electric quilt yet. So this is what Angel drew, but you can see, like, I don't like purple, so I took out the purples. But it gives me somewhere to start. And then here, this just means as I'm sewing, I changed it or whatever I did. So those I did a couple weeks ago. And I only have 8 left, so that's super exciting. The white fabric is 20708-36. Ashley can link it. I'm not sure if it's back in stock or not. We kind of keep that on rotation, but if it's not in stock, I know it is on the way. Number 4 is Scrappy Strings number 3. So I have made 2 Scrappy Strings projects. One of them is in Kevin's office. One of them is at work, I think, and then this is a new one. So I didn't want to make the third one the same. So I decided that I would do my third Scrappy Strings using one designer only. So I picked My So Quilty Life, and these are made with the Flower Girl collection. Now with these, what I decided to do is I took all of the fabrics and cut it all up and tried to use just a little bit of the light, but not too much. But I did cut, well, actually I think I used every fabric in the collection. So I cut everything up into the 3 different size strips from the pattern in Scrappiness is Happiness. I have a lot of these are featuring a lot of the stuff I'm going to show you. And I was able to get 6 blocks from this one, and this is using the Lori Holt interfacing. And then I'm kind of just keeping them labeled so I know what I did. And then this is the Dainty Meadow collection that is going to be coming out later in the year. And this one I was only able to get 5. The other one I think I made 6. Oh no, this one I made 6. The other one I was only able to make 5. I think this collection ended up being bigger. And it kind of will just depend. What I'm going to do when I lay this out is I'll just kind of figure out you know, how I want to lay it out, how I want to rotate it. I'll figure that out later. This one will probably take me probably a couple years, because if I get 5 to 6 blocks of each collection, I need 80. So that's going to be whatever 80 divided by 5 is 20. Jordan, you want to do math? 80 divided by 5 is 12 or so. So I'll need 12 or so collections.
8 times 12 is 96.
I'll need like 14, 15 collections. I don't know. We don't know how to do math here. 16. So it's probably going to take me about 4 years. But that'll be something different. And then my 25 patch. This one doesn't have a pattern. It is just something I made up. So I always have leftover 2.5-inch squares, and most collections have 25 different prints. So I just mock up the ones that I have scraps of in my electric quilt. I've done a tutorial for you guys. And you'll notice I started taking the purples out when I started sewing, and I'll show you my blocks. This one I have not drawn out a setting yet, but I will. These are the same collections I've already listed. And this one I have not been pressing open. I do have some fun stuff to show you though once I get these laid out that I think will really help you in cutting your fabrics. So this one's great because I was able to fit them all on one thing. Okay. Let's see. So if you look at this one, I didn't do anything funny. This one, if you see, I cut some of the stripes on the bias and some straight, so then it looks like you have 2 different prints, even though you don't. Same thing here. Cutting the fabrics different gives you a different look. You could do the same thing with these type of prints also. I think I did something here too. This one, see, I have this on the bias, but this one on the straight. Same thing here. Some are straight, some are bias. So just kind of using your scraps and turning them on the diagonal, even if you turned it not exactly the whole way on the diagonal, it's going to give you a different look, and it looks like you have different fabric even though you don't. You could do it with text, you could do it with ginghams, you could do it kind of with anything. I did obviously try to fussy cut here, and my goal here, these are all 2.5-inch squares, and my goal is to use different fabric in each spot and try to use just a little bit of white but not too much. So here you can see I had to end up using a couple of whites, and I tried to use the purple as little as possible. And this one I kind of had no choice. So I've already shown this. Okay. And then just so you know, when we're done with these live streams, I throw these away. These are just really things for me to take home, to have a plan. And then as I'm cutting, I can put it on my design board with the picture so that if I leave and come back 2 weeks later, which happens all the time, I know exactly where I'm at or kind of where my head was when I started. And once I come up with the finishing for that one, I will share it with you. I'm not in any rush because, you know, I'm gonna need a little bit to, I'm gonna need a lot more blocks to be able to do it. So just keep asking your questions and I will answer them. This is Moda Blockheads 5. And this one has a total of 31 blocks. And as I was making them, I had to make some decisions. So I will talk about my setting because I have now made a decision on what setting I'm going to be doing. So this is Ohio Star by Deb Strain. And on this one, you can see I cut this print on the bias to give it a different look. So that would be one tip I would give you. I obviously always make my hourglass bigger and trim down. So that is the first block. I'm going to kind of leave them together just so you can kind of see how they're looking. The next block is 16 Patch Star by Alexia Abig of Ruby Star Society. This one, this is written to make 2 half square triangles. I changed it to be flying geese just to save myself time, and I did keep all my stripes going the same way. Moda Blockheads is a completely free sew along. You can find all the information on Moda Fabrics website or their Facebook page or their blog. This next one is Shooting Stars by Stacy Itsu, and this one I will say I had a lot of trouble coloring. I don't want to say trouble, but it just took me a long time to color it, and I ended up using the seam align glue here just because these are so tiny, just to get these to really end up nice. But I end up loving this block. It's kind of like I was trying to make it not look so flaggy, if that makes sense. So, but I got it done. And, you know, I kept consistent prints here, and then like basically the same prints here and here and here, because keeping it consistent kind of made it a little bit less busy. This next block I love. I'd love to make a quilt out of this, a quilt out of just this block. This one is called Starling by Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life, and she was on our live stream last week, so you guys got to see her and meet her. But this one was really fun to just use. You can notice in my blocks, not all, but some have 2 different backgrounds in them. This one was a little hard to get 2 backgrounds in. But this one looks really great with the 2 backgrounds. I'm just trying to get my quilts to not be so white, if that makes sense. So that is Starling. This next one is called Indigo Light. It is by Debbie Maddie. She's a fabric designer for Moda and a pattern designer. And again, 2 backgrounds. Now this one, what you could do is you could do this on the bias. Cut it on the bias, you'd get a totally different look. This one is called Radiant Stars, and I was not sure I could do it, but I did. So basically, I just printed out on, I used the It's So Emma paper pads, cut them, the blank ones, and then ran it through my printer. And this is all foundation paper pieced, so this one is not pressed open. This one took a long time, but I do like the result of it. I was trying to be honest, what I did is I tried to draw this and figure out a way to make this with like half square triangles, flying geese. Like I tried to figure out a way to piece it without foundation paper piecing. And then I realized that I couldn't figure it out. And then I was like, you know what? I think you can do it. And so I did. And what I tried to do is I made each unit one at a time. So I made this unit, stopped, etc. And then what I did is I pressed as I went so that everything would nest, but I went real slow. I'm gonna start kind of stacking them. The next block is called Keepsake. It's by Bunny Hill Designs. And this one I wasn't able to figure out a way to get a second background in, but I love the effect of the 2 different colors. And you can see some of the blocks I've done the same colors, some I've done different. I have tried to make sure things just kind of coordinate within. This is Double Star by Joanna Figueroa. It's similar to one of the other blocks, but this one, you can see I did the placement of the 2 backgrounds and then this one. Now, somebody's asking how you would cut bias squares. So what you would do, this is cut on the straight. Do you think one of those 25 patches I could see?
Yes.
I think I might be able to show it there. So this is cut on the straight right here. I'm going to show you, I think, in this block, I might have one that's not cut on the, oh, it's a different collection. So this is cut on the straight right here. You cut a 2.5 inch square straight. This one, when you cut your fabric, you would put your ruler on your fabric like this, or like this, if that makes sense. So you just rotate your fabric. Oh, sorry. So this is Double Star by Joanna Figueroa. And then the last one to show you is Life of the Party by Vanessa Christensen of V&Co. This one, I will tell you, I'm not happy with it because these two stripes go this way and these two stripes go this way, and there's nothing more that drives me crazy than that. But I just decided I had to let it go. This is the second background that I chose, and I, to be honest, am not sure that I laid my blocks exactly the way they are here. I just was really struggling with the color placement, and I did try to do, you know, one peach, one yellow. I was trying to do like a green and then one more color like a pink, and it really didn't work. So I found that the two greens touching was enough of a color change. But what I did decide on this one is there are 31 blocks, and I started thinking about it, and they're 12 inches is the size that I'm making. If you do 31 12-inch blocks, your quilt is going to be huge. And I don't generally make quilts that are going to be huge. So I decided that I was going to take the Spelling Bee book by Lori Holt. She always has great settings in her books that use 6-inch and 12-inch blocks. And this is the Picture Day quilt. And if you have 6-inch blocks, you can make this. And if you have 12-inch blocks, you can make this. It's the same quilt, the same setting, just different cutting. So I decided I am going to make 20 blocks, 4 across by 5. So I'm going to skip 11 of the blocks. I'm only going to make 20. And then what I'm going to do, oh, sorry. So the cornerstones that are these squares right here are going to be this skew. My sashing, that's going to be, it's basically white, a color, and then white is going to be this. This will also be my binding. This is going to be my border. And you'll see this will be really nice on the binding. My backing, oh, thank you, Moda. My backing, oh, I didn't draw it out. Okay, I haven't drawn it out yet. What am I going to do for my backing? I thought I had drawn it out. I guess I drew it out in my head. I'm going to take this panel, and I bought 3 yards of it, and I'm going to somehow do a stripe across the backing with this on the top and the bottom. And you'll probably see this again when I make mine. I only have 3 blocks left, and I'll probably take this home and start working on piecing this together. But and with this, I'm only going to use some of this, but even if I just cut a strip and it's across, I will have a ton left over to use for something else. So, love this panel. I just knew I needed a wide enough piece. So I just bought a wide enough piece in one chunk. This right here collection is Flower Girl by Heather Briggs. It just arrived at Fat Quarter Shop. And any of the fabrics that we've sold out of, if Moda has it in stock, we reorder it. If it's not in stock, then we don't. But we do reorder every day Moda fabrics. So I would have to look to see. I do know the white on white is already sold out. And we bought a ton of it, so not sure. I will tell you that today, if you are looking, we will be putting back online the white on white from Strawberry Lemonade, bolts, yardage, and then the fun print that they did that was kind of like an accent print. I can't think of it right now, but it is going to go back online today or Monday. The next is paper hearts, and I've made all my blocks. All I have to do now is put them into rows, and this is a free pattern on Riley Blake's website. This is using the B Dots collection. I've shown you the blocks before. It uses the paper hearts foundation paper. And here is how it looks. The way that we divided it was, I made all the blocks and then Teresa's putting them into rows, and we're following the layout that Lori did. So this is January, February, March, and April. And so we'll just keep showing you, and I would say probably in September we'll just finish it and send it to the quilter so that at the end of the year on our summering we can at least have it quilted and ready to go. This one does have a border, and that border I'm going to cut length of fabric. And this is the one, we did a tutorial on this, and it's just supposed to be very like folk arty. So give this one back to Denise, and let's see how I did the back. So Teresa's just pressing each row opposite ways, and then I had to do this in the center so everything would nest pretty good. And then let's see, number 8 is Shine Together by Riley Blake Designs. Now this one is this free pattern that you can get at Riley Blake Designs, and they used here the they're doing a sew along from January to March using this, and this is colored in Paparazzi and Hush Hush. These blocks on the inside, they had some other designers do alternate blocks. So I'm just going to show you my blocks that I made. And then after this, you're probably not going to see it again because we're going to go ahead and assemble it, meaning Teresa's going to assemble it and send it to a quilter. So for this block, which is S, I did the Heather Peterson spools pattern. To find these individual patterns, you go to the designer's website. So this one's Shine Together. This one is from the pattern. I just followed the pattern. This one is the Fat Quarter Shop Kimberly block. Jocelyn designed that. This is Farm Star by Lori Holt. And so you can see I make all kinds of notes on things, color it. And this one, I might just auction off because these are not my colors. And then this is the Sandy Gervais block. So I have I have everything pieced. All that has to be done is just to lay it out, put it together. So that's, Teresa's gonna do that. We'll show it to you, then we'll send it to the quilter and it will be done. And this is how I use my alphabetties when I need to attach them. I just use Wonder Clips. So Shine Together is a completely free pattern on Riley Blake's website. The next one is the Kona pattern, and this is free on Robert Kaufman's website. So Robert Kaufman came out with churn packs of Kona for each month, and I purchased them, starched them, and had to fudge my seam allowances a little bit, but I somehow made this pattern work with one or two of their churn packs. Now obviously I didn't put the white in, so this is an artistic interpretation basically, and this is my March. It's purple, I don't love it. I did try to play with the color placement so that like darks are on the outside. This was dark, I was very careful and then kind of did my muted here, if that makes sense. I wanted to show on the charm pack, there was some pieces I didn't use. I did want to point that out. I think on this one I had to use 2 charm packs because they read very brown. Well, this one's just see how that reads brown? And so I did take these out. They were just a little too dark, and I thought this would be much happier. So always feel free, I can save this, I can use it for something else. And then April's, I used all of it but 2 pieces. So you can see this one, I used more of the colors. And so you can see what I did here. I just took the white out and I just lay out my fabrics. This one I wasn't able to draw an electric quilt. I just kind of had to sit and play with it in person and just kind of make it work and just kind of move things around. Now this is totally not my colorway at all. Like solids are not my thing, but I'll either auction this or give it away if I don't like it when it's put together. The dot, my favorite dot background with Flower Girl, there's 2 different things going on there. So from my Enchanted Stars, I used 20708-36. From the Moda Blockheads, I used the white on white from the collection. So that's kind of really stepping outside my comfort zone, those are. Now for our 2024 Cottage Temperature, we have January through March done. So I am using, on this one, I'm using Bella Solid color 182. And I'm using the Flower Girl collection, and then these Bella Solids are also in the pattern. They are colors 180 and 180, okay, color 182 and colors 40 and 180 for Bella. So that's January, February, and my March is starting to get, I guess, cooler or something. I can't remember. So I'm gonna have a lot of collections in Flower Girl. And Denise made this for me. It's my interpretation of the, taking like a solid and putting it into prints. And so we just did that. So that's what we follow. Okay, number 11. And then what I do is I keep my pattern in here until I'm done. And then when I'm done with it, I pull the pattern out so that I have more room for the next things. This next one is oh my gosh, it's like my favorite thing right now. It's Vintage Sunburst by Lori Holt, and it uses, the pattern is free on our website, designed by Lori. And it uses the 8-inch Sunburst paper and the 12-inch Sunburst paper. Now these pads are different in that each page is a quarter of the block. So you don't get a full 40 blocks out of it. Rather you get, you get fewer. So you get 10, you can make 10 blocks from each pad, whereas usually you can make 40. So I will show you my blocks. Let's see. Okay, these are my 12-inch. And my 12-inch have the corners. These take forever, I will tell you that, but I'm gonna love it. So these are my 12-inch. And these are my 8-inch. My 8-inch, basically, Lori has you add more of that same background to the outside and not put this corner here. And what I love about this is it really gets me, I mean, you really have to like pay attention when you're making it. It is hard, but man, it looks so good when it's done, right? And this one I would never give away. This one definitely is gonna be something that I maybe hang on the wall or something. And so this is, some of these I sew in advance, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'll just make all the blocks at one time. This one I have made through April. I haven't started May yet. And here is where I printed out, you can find this on our blog, but I printed all of the blocks, how Lori has them colored, and then I write down what I do. And then as I finish them, I take them out of the book so I don't have to think, because, you know, if I'm working on 30 things at one time, I have to have some type of binder to keep me going. Keep me organized is the right word. Mercantile Sampler, we have gone over, and I really have made no progress since I showed you, but there is the Sew Along block guide you can get on Riley Blake's website, and then the Sew Along guide. There's two different ones, and this is my original block one with the messed up glue. This is the new one. I think I trimmed this one down to the wrong size. But this one just ignore, because this is where I did the glue. So this one I did a video recently. This is coming out next week, right? No? Let me look. On April 12th. So if you watch April 12th's video, I did this, and this is actually machine sewn down. Oh, no. This is the wrong one. This is the right one. Okay, yeah, this is the wrong one with all the glue. This is the right one, and then you can see my stitches. And I have all of the blocks pieced and all of my 4 patches done. I just have to start sewing them together. So I'm a little bit behind, but a little bit ahead in that I went a different order. And then this is really, guys, this one I'm very proud of. I love the coloring, and I love that I actually did the coloring myself. This is a Quilting Live 2024 free block of the month from Sherry McConnell at A Quilting Life. This is my March block. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And this is my April block. And what I do is I draw them in electric quilt and then sew them. Now this one, you can see in month 1, Sherry had a really cool technique where you did the flying geese with 2 colors. And I love that. It's very hard. I don't want to say hard, but you know, you have to really stop and think. So what I'm doing is each month I'm reversing them. So they each have the gingham, but one month has this red and one month has this red, and then I alternate them. So when it's done, you will see how awesome it looks. And this is another one where I tried to use 2 different backgrounds so that all my quilts would not be so white. I'm trying to just make them look a little bit different, but this one, I ended up loving the fabric. This is Strawberry Lemonade, and I just used the red and the whites, and that's it. And I have pieced it together. Not pieced it together. I've decided what I'm going to do for the layout. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simple layout with just, it's just going to be very simple so that it doesn't take away from the blocks. And I will give you more info on that later. I'm doing the 8-inch size. Completely free patterns at a Quilting Life blog. And I love small blocks. Quilty Fun, we just started Quilty Fun. So Quilty Fun, it's been 10 years since we published Lori's first book. So you can find all of the information on the Quilty Fun Row Along on the Fat Quarter Shop blog. We have the fabric requirements, and then we have the days. So for this week, I have done the 4 patches. I'm going to show it to you. And I've done a couple of the rows. I did press everything open. This one I just need to fix. I think it just got smashed. But I pressed everything open, and I want to show you one thing. In the book, Lori has a really cool method of how you make these. I didn't do that. I just cut the squares what they needed to be and just did it my own way. So anytime you see something, I mean, Lori's my best friend, but I don't always sew like Lori. So if it's easier for you to just do simple, do that. One tip I would give you on all of these, make your rows. At the end of each row, there will be a rectangle or a square. Cut it bigger by 1 inch, and then you can trim it down, and then magically all your rows will end up being the same size, and they don't have to be so perfect throughout. So this is super exciting. We do have a quilt kit for this that Lori colored, and it uses a mix of all of her collections. I will say once we sell out of the Quilty Fun kits, we won't be able to make more just because they're from so many different collections. We had to special order for that kit. The next one is the Riley Blake Designs Challenge. Now this is a completely free pattern at Riley Blake Designs. I am using the Mercantile collection. So I'm going to show you my blocks. Now these blocks these blocks are colored by Lori Holt. I copied what Lori Holt did. So you will want to go and follow Lori on her YouTube page and her blog, which is beingmybonnet.blogspot.com, but I'm basically following what she did. So this is Heather Peterson's block, and again, this is all the Mercantile collection. The next block is Glisten. This is Woven Together by Sue Daly. Now this one, I will say, I really had to do each unit at one time because I guess I couldn't figure out how to mass do this one. So I did change everything by a quarter inch. So if you look at this block, it actually has a border on it, and I didn't want to have a border since the others don't, so I actually cut everything 1.5. No, I cut everything 1 3/4 inches instead of 1.5, and just adjusted as I went. And I started with a fat quarter bundle and obviously had to buy more of the background. This one is going to have a finishing designed by Lori. There's also going to be a finishing provided by Riley Blake. I will be following Lori's. This is Time Waits for No One by Karen Walker. This is Square Pegs by Amber Johnson of Gigi's Thimble. Now this one was super hard, I will tell you. It's 1,000,000 pieces. So this one, I used the H200 for the half square triangles, and I used the 2-inch square and a square paper for the squares. So this one was a lot of a lot of small piecing. This one took quite a bit. This is Flip Flop by Sandy Gervais. And this one you can see I kept all of the tulips going the same way. Sometimes I find if you don't keep the tulips, or if you get the directional prints going different ways, it ends up making your block a little bit busy. So there's that one. So they're looking really nice together. Got one more to show you. This is Garden Patch by Minky Kim. And huge thank you to Lori for coloring this. So all I had to do was sit and sew. Thank you to Patty Kuchera for the super chat. And there you go. I would say that one is maybe intermediate. This next one, oh my gosh, I love it so much. This is Millie's Dresses. So this is my pattern, and I'm gonna just show you my blocks. I made the blocks exactly as Lori colored them on the cover of the pattern. And we did January, February, March. So I'm just gonna show you my blocks. And I have seen this one on social media out of all kinds of fabrics. And I will tell you, one of the ones that I really liked, there was somebody who made it in 1930s prints. Really cute. Now this one I think is really fun because if you look at it, this is much more complicated than this. So it's kind of like hard, easy, if that makes sense. And on the bottom, you could make these bigger and then chop it down, and then your blocks come out exactly the same. Now this pattern is available as paper or PDF at Fat Quarter Shop. We do have quilt kits of this. I believe they're still in stock. And this is used in the Mercantile collection. The pantograph for this, I have not decided yet what pantograph I'm going to do. I'll decide right when I send it to the quilter. So now all these blocks are done. And then 18 is Moonbeams. Just a reminder to donate to Make-A-Wish. And I have done 2 tutorials. I think the next tutorial is next Friday. It's pre-recorded. These are some of my blocks. So you have seen these, but I just wanted to show them to you again. We do have quilt kits available. This is Strawberry Lemonade by Sherry and Chelsea. We do have more of this navy coming back in stock. So I believe this is block 2 and these are block 1. So you can look forward to that tutorial tomorrow, completely free pattern. And you can,
not tomorrow,
next Friday. I don't know why I said tomorrow. I'm sorry, next Friday. When I start talking, sometimes I just talk a lot. Number 19 is Piece and Quilt. So I'm so excited to do this quilt along. This is Celebrate with Quilts book by Lisa Alexander and Susan Aki. And Sarah, who works with Fat Quarter Shop, did the book for us and for them, and then she colored this in the Shoreline collection. So I started with the Shoreline, I started with, there is a starter kit for this kit. So I bought that, and I'm gonna show you where I'm at. I'm going a little bit out of order, and I'm gonna tell you why. I made this block yesterday. What I'm doing with this sew along that I've never done before is Sophie's videoing me doing these and giving tips at the end, and they'll be more of a real style so that I can give you tips, but not take too much of your time. So this one I've done ahead of time. This is the 12-inch album star. And then when I'm giving you those tips, you're gonna kind of see my method of how I sew them. So you'll wanna follow us on Instagram to see those, Instagram and Facebook, to be able to see those videos. And then this is a yes block and a no block. Now, I, as you can see, make a lot of things. And I needed a way to go faster, so I bought an industrial machine. And the first time I started using it was this week, and it doesn't have a 1/4 inch foot yet. So I was just kind of trying to make it work. So this is my first block. It's a no. It's not perfect. It's really close, but it's not perfect. This is my yes block. I will give you more information on that machine and everything much, much later. I am just trying it out, and it goes 4,000 stitches a minute. And I will have all that information for you later. I have just started using it, so I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm just getting used to it. The navy with white pin dot is sold out. Okay, now we're going to jump to 29. These are all future things. 29 is Men Inspired, which uses the Kona color of the year. And the Men Inspired free quilt pattern. It uses our Courthouse Steps 6-inch paper. This is row 3 and row 4, and I'm going to lay them out so you can see. And then on this one, we'll probably just, Teresa's probably just gonna sew it together, get it quilted so that you guys can see it. And these are not in the right, I don't have them rotated the right way or anything like that. I'm just showing you for colors. This one, I was able to do all of these in one weekend. And I kept the centers consistent. And that adds some uniformity. If you're ever looking to add some stability, adding one color to, will help you. And then Emma actually sewed these blocks. I think I've showed some pictures of her doing them. She actually sewed all of these. She sewed and I pressed and trimmed. And that was fun. So she's definitely, I'm definitely teaching her how to do foundation paper piecing. And you can tell she sewed them just because like the threads are kind of loose. They're not as perfect, but that's okay. Then I'm going to move to, everything now is going to be out of the book because it's from previous years. So for this book, because it's so big, I'm going to show you what I have to do. On some of these papers right here, just to show you, like this one ripped. So I bought from Amazon these little stickers to put the pages back, if that makes sense. And then when I do this, I do this to make it go flat. Last year, I started making log cabin blocks using all different whites. Each block has a different white. And just one block from each collection that I have scraps of. These are the same collections I mentioned at the very beginning of the show. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use the layout of Sweet Escape to make this. So let's see, how many more do I need to make? I have 44 out of 52 done, so I only have to make 8 left. And you can see each one has a different background. So when I get here, these, instead of being white on white log cabins, they're just going to be different whites, just one square of white. And I'll just pick from different collections, just something that's white on white for those. And then what I did is I printed out this, which is the cover, and then I'm going to put this in my binder so that I, you know, when I have it, I know where it goes. And this one, kind of that same thing. You can see where I cut this on the bias. Let me see if I did any others. Like that's probably, I don't know if that's cut on the bias or not. And then I've got Bitty Brick House, which, oh my gosh, this is like my favorite. I have 26 blocks done. I'm gonna make a total of 42. This is a completely free pattern at Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm doing my layout bigger. I'm doing 6 by 7, and this is where I drew my blocks, an electric quilt. So this is Shine by Sweetwater, Dainty Meadow by My So Quilty Life, Rosemary Cottage by Camille Ross Kelly, Laguna Sunrise, Sherry and Chelsea, and Autumn by Lori Holt. Now on these blocks, I'm using the background from the collection if it's a white on white. This, Lori doesn't have a white on white because hers is more of a cream. So I just pulled from a different collection. And then the door, I use a low volume. And so here you can see I fussy cut so that that would kind of look like the window of the door. So that's kind of fun. And on this one, you can definitely see, so you've got a stripe here. So I did one vertical, one horizontal, and one on the bias. And same thing here. I did this on the bias, this on the straight. And like the same thing. So just by cutting, and these two are the same print, one's cut on the straight and one's cut on the bias, just to give you a different look. And then when all of your fabrics start touching, they look totally different, even though they're not. Okay, the next blocks I started last year. We are completely sold out of this entire program. When we end the program, we will have the patterns available. That will be in July of 2025. So this is Designer Mystery Block 10. I made it in the original size, and then I made it in the 6-inch and the 3-inch. And this is one where, you know, you could change your stripes to be biased if you wanted to. And I'm gonna sew this one up into the finishing pattern, and these two I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with. I might auction them or I might give them to members. I'm not sure, I haven't decided. Some stuff I just, if you notice, I just make stuff to make it. I don't really have anywhere for any of this to go. I just do it for fun. And this is block 11. So only have block 12, and then we'll probably, Teresa will probably start sewing the big one together. And then based on how much she has left over from the finishing kit, we'll decide what to do. Now this quilt is all finished. This is the Temperature Quilt from 2023. So this is from last year. And I think this one might get auctioned off. It's upside down, but we're just gonna leave it because it's too big to flip. But it's, I used Baptist fans, and Maggie Honeyman quilted it. The pantograph is called Stacked Snails on Edge Petite. And that's the Temperature Quilt. So it's all done. Let me show you the back. So that's all done, and I might auction it off. I might give it to a member. We'll see. This is Spangled. This is a Kim Deal pattern, but I used the Lori Holt Fat Quarter Clubs to make this. And I used July 2023 bundles through February 2024. And this is the pattern. I talked a lot about it in the live streams. And this right here, look at how tiny the quilting is. I love it. This is a pantograph Move the little cursor. Thank you. 1559 is the pantograph number. I don't know. And then I did I think this is a 108 on the back. I will show you my label. I got to remember what I did. It's on the front somewhere. I got to find it. By Jordan's hand. Let me find it. Oh, right here. So this is a Sweetwater label that I just sewed in, and then that way on the back I didn't have to piece anything. So I've been kind of putting the borders on the front if I can. I did start Kevin's Smoky Bear quilt, and I'm hoping to get that to remember to put the label in the bottom. Now this is a brand new block of the month designed by Jocelyn, and it's exclusive to Fat Quarter Shop. It uses it uses the pint-sized prints and True Color collections by Tula Pink, which are her basics. It finishes at 84 inches square, and it is queen sized. So with this one, this is unique. We're doing this block of the month totally different than we've done in the past. I'm going to explain it to you. So we worked on this for probably a year, at least 9 months. This block of the month you can only get at Fat Quarter Shop. These are just drafts, but it is all foundation pieced. You're going to get, with your block of the month, custom pads so that you do, like it's got so many of each block within it, so you don't have to buy 4 different pads. You have 4 pads instead of 16, if that makes sense. Your pattern is going to be custom. It tells you exactly where each fabric goes. And that is why we are only putting the pattern and the pads with the block of the month. We're not offering that separately. Now, in a year or 2 years, would we offer this separately? Maybe. But because this is so specific, that's why we're only putting it with the block of the month. Now, the way this works is, these are basics. So in 1 month, we're going to place our order with Free Spirit. When we place our order, we will decide then how many total memberships, and once we sell out, we sell out. So you've got about a month to decide if you want to join this. And Kona made this, and she put a cute little hand embroidered label on the back, made by Kona. Oh, actually it's on her sewing machine. And the pantograph we did is a kind of a swirl. Will I be sewing along with live demos? I'm definitely going to be sewing along. I don't think they're going to all be all live. We will do some demos, but not all. Is there an ETA on Kimberly's Blue Shoreline bundle? Yes, probably a week or 2. We yeah, a week or 2. We have a lot of stuff on our cutting table. So, and I do want to thank everyone who has signed up for this block of the month. We rarely do modern because it's so, you know, it's just not me, but I love this. And I actually think my mom might like this, so I might give it to her because she loves purple. But this is something, you know, you guys like modern, so we did something modern, and we specifically did these 4-inch papers, 6-inch papers, so that you could really, if you would have used any of Tula's regular prints like Roar, it would kind of get chopped up. I would say this is intermediate, but if you can foundation paper pieced, you can do it. And yes, I am blessed to have so many talented people working with me. Yes, because I didn't do any of this. I actually came up with the idea, but did not design it, for sure, did not design it. We came out with a new video release this week using the brand new fabric collection. It's called Curated in Color. That's the collection. It's by Kathy Holden. And in that video, what we were trying to show you was how you can do different colors in a striped form. And you can see it here. The video is called Quilt with All the Colors and Free Pattern for Color Lovers. And the collection, like I said, is curated in color by Kathy Holden and Moda Fabrics. We have a quilt kit, we have backing sets. It's 60 by 72. I would say, you know, bigger pieces, it's easy to piece. And here's your block right here. But by joining it and keeping the color together, you kind of get a vertical color. Thank you to Donna C for the super chat. And so you'll want to check that video out. For everyone who sews along with our Sew Sampler quilts each year, we have Pieceful basket kits in stock now. This we have sold through 75% of them, so if you want one, I would get it now. We will start showing blocks later in the year, just so that if people have not received their April box, I know it has been shown on social media, but I want y'all to be able to I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but we will start showing those blocks. They're baskets, they're really pretty. I'm not going to be sewing along with it, but I will say that I love it. Quilted Scarecrow and any of the Lori Holt quilt kits using autumn will ship in 1 to 2 weeks. Like I said, we have a ton of things on our cutting table. So we're just cutting them in order of when we receive the fabrics. This is the Morning Gatherings quilt pattern by Kim Deal, published by It's So Emma. It's 64 inches square, so you can buy the pattern either as paper or PDF, and we have a quilt kit. So lots of options here. I would definitely say this is advanced. And one thing that Kim Deal does that I wanted to point out, she made this quilt, by the way. I don't want to give you all the instructions. She's very specific about where your fabrics go in the quilt, so that if you want to make the quilt exactly like this, it tells you exactly where each fabric goes. So it's very specific. Even though it's scrappy, it's more of a planned scrappy. And I wanted to point out that I love her binding. I'm going to see if she will do a blog post for us or video tutorial or something for us on this. Skinny on the front and fat on the back. And I love the pantograph. So we're going to be mailing that back to her today, so you probably won't see that quilt again. So again, here's the pattern. And now I'm going to look at new fabrics. I'm going to answer some questions first, though. Let's see. Super chat from Donna C. Entire FQS team, thank you for the content you share. The best channel ever. It takes a village and it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you. Super chat from Janet Ridling. Kimberly is my hero. I think she should do a meet and greet and or in-person seminar that we can attend and meet her. Okay, maybe one day. Do you think I would ever make a foundation paper pad for the brick house blocks? No, because those are just too it's too easy to do. Are you doing live classes on Celebrate Piece and Quilt Sampler? No, what we're doing is we're videoing my process. So you'll see like how you'll just kind of see a fast forward of the order I go in. And I'll give you tips on which paper or tools that I use in it. When will Lori Holt paper hearts paper be back in stock? It was back in stock. So I'm not sure that August. Okay, so it came back in stock and then it went back out of stock. So now they're quoting August. Does the Riley Blake Block Challenge take the whole fat quarter bundle? Yes, it uses a lot of fabric. If you were going to try to use a layer cake, you would need like 2 or 3. Your blocks have 0 fraying. Is that the starching? It's several things. So it's the starching, It's the storage, and it's how I cut the blocks at the end. So when I finish, I starch my blocks. When I finish them, I trim the edges. I place them on design boards. When I bring all my blocks to work, they're on design boards, and then they take them off the photo and they put them back on design boards. And the design board will keep it together. Colleen says, question about the bow tie quilt along. For those of us wanting the Strawberry Garden block of the month to start and receive our books, will we receive the first month in time for the quilt along? Yes. Do you know how much fabric I would need to do all of the Lori Holt pumpkin seed blocks? We have a finishing kit. I don't know if Riley Blake has that on their site or not. It's pretty in-depth. Do I starch my fabric? Yes. For the flower stand block of the month, do you know when it will be in stock? Once we cut it, it will be shipping. I know it's getting cut right now. I don't have the exact date. Would you use batting with Lori's interfacing? Okay, so that question came in when I was showing the Scrappy strings blocks. I use batting in the quilt. Lori does not, so it's personal preference. Any update on the Lori Holt Fat Quarter Club for April? I think that just came in late. So basically the same day we get it from Riley Blake, we just cut it and ship it out. I don't have an exact update. Val Earl said, I received my winning of Kimberly's 2 table toppers and runner. They are lovely, and I see exactly what she means with the smushing of batting. I love them so much. Thank you. I'm so glad you won. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to show you new fabrics. This is Lori's autumn collection, and the yardage, pre-cuts, half yard, and fat quarter bundles are in stock. Other items will be shipping in 1 to 2 weeks, basically. We have to cut them, and we cut them in order of how we receive the orders from Riley Blake. So because we place so many orders, they come in, and we focus first on starting to cut the half yard bundles. From there, we just go in order of kits. So I'm showing you the fabrics, and you will see that I made lots of blocks in this using lots of my Scrappy blocks, and I can show them to you again, but when I show them to you, you're going to notice I left the purples out. Someone asked a question about the purples, and I saved it for this. There are a lot of backgrounds in this, which is great. I'm going to kind of show you my blocks. I'll show them in a second. And then it goes into the darker browns, which she calls this raisin, I believe. And then you've got kind of a denim blue. This one has quite a bit of SKUs. I think it's like close to 50, if not 50. So this one, bigger collection, that's why it takes a while to get the quilt kits cut and shipped. So you're gonna notice I didn't use any of these purples, any of my blocks. So what I did is I took my purples, I put them in a box, I bring them to work, and I give them to someone or give them to one of my YouTube members. I don't throw them away or anything like that. So it's autumn, but I mean, really, when you look at it, it doesn't have to be autumn. So that's the collection, but I'm gonna show you the blocks just to show you how I took this and turned it into blocks and took this out. And I didn't use a lot of these either. Okay. I mean, I was gonna give you time to that'll give you time to put them back so that they're not a mess. So this is my interpretation of her blocks. So no purple and none of that dark brown. So take with a collection and do whatever, you know, whatever you think is great. If you don't like something, you don't have to use it. And you know, I don't throw it away or anything. I give it to either one of our members or something. And you can see how her collection had a lot of cream in it, right? I used white in these blocks just because all over I want my quilt to be white, but her color is beige. I just added a white to it to make it work. Okay. So like I said, the How to Build a Scarecrow and the kit for the applique, those are being cut first. Those will ship first, and then other kits will come after. I just saw this morning. I love it. I have to have it. This is called Autumn Vinyl Zipper Project Bag. Oh, I'm taking this. This is my bag now. I love it. It looked so small on the website. I had no idea it was so big. So, super excited. Love this. I'm going to show you all the notions. She has some new charms. I love that one. I think I'm going to take this one and put it on here. She has a new cup. And what we do with Lori's notions, we buy a ton of them. We don't know how many will sell. If they sell out, we always rebuy them. And then this time she has a huge needle minder that's a scarecrow. It's huge. I think it would be just cute as a decoration, to be honest. Like, just put it on something as a decoration for your house. She has new washi tape. She has the pumpkin quilt paper. So I showed you the Paper Hearts quilt. This is the same type of concept, but using pumpkins. I'm not sewing anything with this one, but if you enjoyed the Paper Hearts or any of her previous ones, I'm sure you would enjoy this. Her Quilty patterns, there are 9. These make 18 by 20 inch blocks. The pattern and pattern sets are in stock. The quilt kits will be in stock in 2 to 3 weeks, or 1 to 2 weeks. Just as soon as we can cut them and get them online, we will. I'm not planning on making these. I know you guys are gonna ask. I love them, but I don't think I've added this one to my list. Her So Simple shapes this time are for how to build a scarecrow. And there's a lot. This one's pretty big. This one does cost more than the others, and I think it's because there's more templates in it. She always has new binders. This is her Beekeeper binder. It's one of her bigger, wider binders. So we have, these are all of her notions. Okay, so again, fat quarter bundles, half-yard bundles, pre-cuts in stock. Notions in stock. Quilt kits, 1 to 2, maybe even 3 weeks. As we cut them, we put them online. Really cute. And these are really cute, like in your sewing room, if you wanted to just, what I like to use these for is like that. Like, I wouldn't really use it as a drink cup, even though it's cute, because, I don't know. Cute. I'm probably, Jordan's looking at me like, you probably messed it up. Okay, but this I'm keeping. And this I'm keeping. Okay, so I wanted to tell you we received a lot of fabrics all at once. So we received Shoreline, Roar, and Autumn all in the same week. So that is why things are taking a while to cut. I'm going to show you Roar. We do have a book stand planned. I can't tell you the color, but that's being done right now actually. It's not orange. The person who's asking for orange, it's not orange. I'm going to open these just because these are bigger prints. So this is Roar by Tula Pink, all in stock. We have 1 yard, half yard, fat quarters, in stock. Lori Holt always has the largest number of pieces in her collections. I think this is the largest I've seen. Well, that's how you get all those looks, is all of that. And Tula did come out with a new collection. We put it on our coming soon page. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. This one is a border stripe where there's dinosaurs on the edges. The pre-boxed autumn kits, I'm not sure if those have even arrived yet. So when they arrive, we load them. So I'm not, on that one, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm gonna do it this way so you can keep seeing it. Yeah, that's better. Will I have Untamed? Yes, anything that's Tula Pinks we always order, and then we keep her solids and her basics in stock, and we keep her collections actually in stock until the manufacturer will start discontinuing them. Then we'll discontinue them. We always keep her. It's kind of like Lori. We keep as long as we can. So if you like colorful, this is really fun. And the block of the month I showed you earlier, dragon fruit. With that, because the front is, you know, tinier pieces, you could put something like this on the back and just like a really bold backing. So you don't have to use the backing set we're selling. This one I think is really cool, I will tell you. This one is very ombre. And her next collection has some prints that have an ombre effect also. And she did a cool video on her Facebook Live on Untamed. And she talks a lot about her design process, her ginghams, how she put different geometrics in it. This is the dinosaur. One of my sons loves dinosaurs, so it'd be kind of cool to make a pillow, but I don't know that these colors are his colors. And this has also got that ombre feel. And just looking at this, you can cut it this way and it comes out straight. You cut it this way, it comes out bias. This is that same border print where on the edge. This one we see it's on both sides. So if you buy the fat quarter, you'll get one side. They're called like border stripes, I think, and then this is a big polka dot. So this is Roar by Tula Pink. So excited to show that to you. It's been, I don't know, very well received. People love it. And then from Moda, we received this collection called Noir by Ali K Designs. I'm gonna go this way to keep it in order. So this is really nice white on white. And this one is, I kind of think it's very grunge. I don't even know if I'm saying it. It's very like the look. It's Halloween, vintage. Okay, this has skulls on it, just so you know. And I believe she's based out of Dallas. I've never met her. And if you have any questions, just put them in, and I would definitely will answer them if I see them. These are serpents. And with Noir, we have fat quarter bundles, half yard bundles, yardage. There is a panel. I've shown it to you on a different live stream. It's not in this bundle, but we have all the pre-cuts like jelly rolls, layer cakes, charm packs, all of the things. This one will be popular. And this one is the same as the white on white. This is Sunny Skies by Jill Finley for Riley Blake Design. So this is a fun spring blue and yellow group. I'm trying to put them so that we can put them back easier. The best-selling fabric right now would be Shoreline, Roar, and Autumn. It's kind of like fashion. The designers sell. The designers who post a lot on social media, they show how to use the fabric. They show, you know, patterns. People know what to do with them. It's just gonna sell better just because people have ideas of where to start, which I think is the hardest part, especially if you're new, which is why I try to give tips of what I do and hope that, you know, it adds something. This is Sunny Skies, Jill Finley, Riley Blake Designs. Blossom is a basic that has been out for a long time by Christopher Thompson for Riley Blake, and they added some colors for 2024. So these are new colors. This is the low volume bundle. We have yardage and fat quarter bundles. And this is the low volume. And I have used several of these in quilts in the past. This is a great basic. And this one I did want to point out, 3 are metallic. These right here are 2 colors, red and white, red and green, or 1 color. Aqua and white, navy and white, gray and white, black and white. Now, when you get into here, these are 2 different pinks, black and gray, 2 different blues. This is multicolored. So this is Easter colors. Patriotic colors, kind of like confetti, Mardi Gras, Cinco de Mayo colors, Halloween colors, and Christmas colors. So just so you know, if you're ever looking for a basic, Blossom is great because there are some, you know, this is white on white, cream on white, metallics, single colors, double colors, multicolors. Now, with this is also new colored SKUs. So I'm going to list these. Now these are all going to be just 2 colors. But the backgrounds, having this variety is great. This would make a really pretty rainbow quilt. Love the greens in this. I'm not even a green person. And this color's great. I might have to add this to my stash. Oh, these are good colors. We bought this on paper, meaning I haven't seen this in real life, so this is awesome. Oh, I love this. And this would be so pretty if you just did a quilt, like, just right there. And then there's 2 blacks. One is kind of charcoal, one is black and white, and one is black on black. And then here you've got gray and white, a different gray and white, and then a gray on gray. The rest of them are all white. It's only these 2 that have the color on color, if that makes sense. Okay. Look how neat I'm being. And then this is, we have a lot of batiks this week to show you. We got a lot of variety to show you this week. We have a ton, and I think it's because we didn't show new last week. This is Periwinkle Glow Batiks by Jacqueline Dijon for Anthology Fabrics. She does a lot of foundation paper piecing that's super hard. Thank you to Terry Blair for the super chat. Thank you for all you and your staff do. Thank you for watching. I always, you know, try to come up with something so you'll want to watch. I will say I find myself to be annoying, so I don't know. Sometimes I don't know why y'all watch. And we usually buy Jacqueline Dijon fabrics. People seem to follow her as a designer, and I think she has a great, I mean, I don't use batiks, but she has a great scale of colors, and since she turns her batiks into actual quilts, you'll notice if there's a fabric designer but they don't design quilts, it's not going to sell as well as somebody who actually designs quilts, because they know what kind of color placement you need to get the variety. This is Cottage Garden Snow Leopard Designs for Free Spirit Fabrics. This is part of the K Facet Collective. I'm going to flip through to where I keep it neat. The rainbow fat quarters I just showed you are called 2024 Blossom and Low Volume Blossom. Once our Jolly Bars, just so you know, we get our Jolly Bars in batches, and once we sell out, we're done. We don't make them again. We try to keep enough for, you know, 6 months to 12 months. This one's So this is Cottage Garden Free Spirit Fabrics Snow Leopard Designs. Now I've got 3 art gallery collections to show you. This is called Ink Perfect Indigo Edition. With Art Gallery, we cut half-yard bundles in-house, fat quarter bundles in-house. We buy the yardage, and they have started doing 10-inch squares as well. And so this one, Ink Perfect, it has a big range of blues. It doesn't stay within the same. It stays within the, I guess, the same color family with punches of color. So, you know, some of the colors are going to pop out and some of them are going to blend in. Heirloom by Sharon Holland for Art Gallery Fabrics. This is more of a cream. Thank you to Carmen Maldonado for the super chat. She says, thank you for all you do for us. Great company, sending hugs. Thank you. This one's would be really cool to put on a border if you cut it length of fabric. I really like this one. And Art Gallery fabrics are a lower thread count, so they're softer and tighter woven. I'm not sure I'm saying that as eloquently as I could. Does Quilty Fun Kit come in a box? It does, but it's just a white box with a cute sticker. This next one is really fun. It's called Monsterville by Art Gallery Fabrics. It doesn't have a designer behind it, so it's got the monster eyes, frogs, No. Oh my gosh, Kimberly Jolly. These are cars. I thought they were frogs. Oh my gosh. Jordan's not paying attention to correct me. This is feet splatter? Is it? I don't know what it is. It's splatter. Let's not pretend that Kimberly knows anything. Okay, those monsters. Those are monsters. What is that? Milk cans? He said he doesn't know. Okay, these are cars. Okay, I'm going to just pretend I don't know and not say anything else. These are bug eyes, I think. They look like polka dots, but they do have little things coming off of them. So this is Monsterville by Art Gallery Fabrics. I'm trying to put it back nicely. So y'all can comment and let me know if you know what this is. Maybe it goes with a movie, who knows? I don't have a clue. This is Postmark by Allison Glass. And I can tell you that I did see her Sunprint collection that's coming out next year, and it's really nice. So this is Postmark. This is Alphabet Flowers. This is the group that always kind of has that stampish look. It has some motifs. Unicorns, I think. Pegasus. I don't know. And then see, it's always got the stamps going. And just so you guys know, next week will be pre-recorded, and that's because I will be at the H&H show. But you can follow us on all of our social media channels, and you'll get to see Lori Holt's booth, Moda Fabrics booth, Riley Blake's booth, and anything else we find fun. Poison vials. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. And then this is white on white. It's kind of a, I wouldn't say it's cream and I wouldn't say it's white. Postmark Allison Glass. The panel that goes with it, I'll show you, there are two colorways. The next colorway is different colors. So those are the panels that go with Postmark. They're 23 inches wide. This collection I know will be a very good seller, and I think we will probably sell out of it. This is Joy by Laundry Basket Quilts, and I can already tell you we have cut the half-yard bundles twice. And this one, I'm hoping she does some type of free sew-along for you guys to join. I'm not sure what she has planned. But this is something, you know, you guys asked what sells best. I mean, her stuff sells awesome. And we keep her fabrics. There are certain designers that we keep in stock as long as the manufacturer does. And that is just based on sales. It's not based on who I like or who I don't like. It's just based on, you know, what the customers want. And we have a product suggestion box. I read all of those. I can't buy everything that everybody wants, but based on that, it really helps me know what you guys are looking for. And when y'all send really great comments to customer service, we see those. So that's always great to see too. Yeah, everybody likes joy. Very Christmassy, but I have some things to say about it. Okay, so when I look at a collection like this, you can look at it and you can be like, it's Christmas. Or you can look at it and say, I could make a beautiful red and white quilt. Or I could make a green quilt. Or I can make an olive quilt. It does not have to be Christmas. If you took some of the prints that have the red and green out, it doesn't have to be a Christmas collection at all. But when I see this, just think outside the box. It doesn't have to be Christmas because the motifs are not Christmas, meaning, you know, it does not have Christmas gifts on it and Santa Clauses. So just when you see something like this, no matter what designer it is, a quilt out of just these two fabrics would be fabulous. And see how that looks totally different than the collection? Just kind of, you know, I just always think outside the box is how I try to think of it. I'm so excited I get to touch all the fabric. Okay, now we have Robert Kaufman fabrics. And shout out to Jordan who's pulling them off. Shout out to Sophie behind the camera, Ashley answering questions, and Denise doing the fabric next to me. Okay, now this one is Christmas. You can't get out of Christmas. This one is Christmas. This is Flower House Vintage Christmas. Debbie Beavis, Robert Kaufman. So something like this would be really hard to, you know, not be Christmas. I will say the printing on this is really nice. I believe it's digitally printed, and it digitally printed gives you more color variation. So again, this is Flower House Vintage Christmas. Lights Out, Glow in the Dark, Fat Quarter Bundle by Robert Kaufman. Now, okay, let me not mess this one up too much. So for the glow in the dark part, if you're ever in a store, like you can touch it and feel it, if that makes sense. So that's glow in the dark and you can just feel it. Not every piece is glow in the dark. So I don't think this is glow in the dark, but this one is. And then what they do is, I think they just price all the fabric at the same price. Some is glow in the dark, some isn't. And there's not a designer on this one. So this one is definitely like right here that you can tell, see the little like, that color, that is what glows in the dark. You can just tell. I will say that glow in the dark has really progressed in terms of the quality. And glow in the dark used to not sell at all, and now it sells like crazy. We can't keep it in stock. I apologize for the thunder. Wow, that is some real thunder. It's coming to get us. Oh, that is a yoga. Is that yoga? Oh, Lord. I can't do yoga. Yoga's not my thing. Any kind of exercise, that's not my thing. Any kind of working out, that's not my thing. I have some fun pictures that I showed in my Wednesday live stream of my kids if you guys want to see that. But I was telling, it's funny, there's, I went to a football game last Friday night, and one of the dads was like, "Did you see his scores?" I was like, "Yeah, I just got out of bed. I was in my pajamas." I'm like, "Don't talk to me. I look like a crazy woman." Lights out, glow in the dark. Okay, this is kitchen. Does the glow last after washing? Yes, it lasts. Now, what I've been told, I haven't done it, it lasts about 4 washings. After about 4 or 5, you're done. So it lasts, it's not a forever. This is the 2024 Kitchen Window Woven Bundle by Elizabeth Hartman, and these are so, oh my gosh, these are so soft. I one day really want to make something with some wovens just because they're so soft. And we did a video yesterday that's going to be coming out in a couple of months that uses wovens, and it really kind of inspired me to do that. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yoga makes me angry. I did yoga one time because my daughter wanted me to try it, and I was like, you know, that's just not me. That's not my thing. My kids, they joke, but they really don't. They say I'm inactive, that I'm the most inactive mom. I'm like, good. Because I'm inactive. That's exactly what I am, and I'm happy with it. This is Kasuri Artisan Batiks, Lund Studios, Robert Kaufman. I'm good being inactive. I will not be one of those moms walking around with yoga pants. All the moms wear yoga pants. They do. I'm like, oh no. I think one time one of my kids said something about it to me, and I was like, you need to stop talking. So this has a range of like light, medium, and then really dark. I'm keeping them in order just so that it's easy for them to put it back together. Are the wovens terrible like some other wovens? Yes, they probably are, and they're very thin. And I think when she means terrible is you can take any cotton print and just pull it. I don't ever do that, but. So see, we get into really dark. And then this is Autumn Skies Artisan Batiks. Now every year, I will tell you that Robert Kaufman does a fall batik line every year, and it always sells great. So if you've ever bought this in the past, in like a previous year, you could mix and match the bundles pretty easily, I would think. Being inactive isn't a bad thing. I played softball, skated, ran, exercised, all of that, and I still have health issues, and my body is pretty worn out. Yeah, I'm just lazy. I got a lot of stuff on my mind, and I'm working out. People, you know, sometimes I watch Joe Rogan, even though he's crazy as a loon. And he's always like, yeah, you should work out. I'm like, yeah, no. No thanks. I want nothing to do with that. I've never been, yeah, no. We have a membership to the gym, but we have to because the kids are on the gym teams. It's so funny. Emma goes, Peyton goes, and Christopher goes. Kevin and I have never been. Or Kevin, he might pretend he's been, but he really hasn't. He doesn't watch, hopefully. This is Into the Web by Hoffman Fabrics. This is digitally printed. And just so you guys know, in April, that's when Halloween fabrics start shipping. April and May. And May and June is when Christmas starts shipping. September, October is Valentine's Day, and then January, February is Easter, around that time. The term active is subjective. I'm going to tell Peyton that. The one thing I always tell my kids is, you would never tell your dad that, would you? They're like, no. Yeah, don't tell me that then. So again, this is Into the Web by Hoffman Fabrics. Raspberry Roundabout Winter 2024 Palette of the Season by Hoffman. Okay, so one thing that Hoffman does is they come out with, they call it Palette of the Season. Oh, let me see that, Jordan. Okay, let me see. Just give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Jordan can't work in our folding department. I was like, what are you doing? So these are $18.95. So if you're ever looking for a basic batik, you can search $18.95. And these are, but they come out with these every quarter. Sometimes we buy them and sometimes we don't. Honestly, it just depends on if I think that people would use it in a quilt. Some of them have been too colorful. So this again, Raspberry Roundabout Winter 2024 Palette of the Season. These are all $18.95s. And that is just a SKU number. And that's been around for, I think that this has probably been a collection for 20 years, the $18.95s. Kimberly, you validate me for being inside in the AC, no exercise and sweating. I actually don't like to be outside. I could live the rest of my life with never even, the only thing I like outside is trees. That's it. I love trees. Anything else, flowers, I don't care anything about. Violet and Pink Skies by Hoffman Fabrics. This is really pretty. I think I've run out of things to say. On my 25 patch blocks, I did not do any gridded interfacing. And on my Lori Holt quilt that used the fat quarter bundles, I just did a mix. I just cut them all up and mixed them up. And sometimes I use 1 month, sometimes I use 2 months. It kind of just depended because I did it over time. And I had a lot left over. This is Rhapsody in Blue, Deborah Edwards for Northcott Fabrics. Piggy is good. Piggy got in trouble at daycare, but I think I've already told the story. And he's very, there's 2 people in the morning when I drop him off, and he likes one of them and does not like the other one. And so this morning I felt so bad because he would only go to this one lady and the other guy. There was a boy and a girl, and he did not want to go to the boy. It was really funny. The guy was like looking at me like, your dog is mean. The Heather Briggs fabric is selling really great. Yes, it is. Rhapsody in Blue, Deborah Edwards, Northcott Fabrics. I'm going to show you the panel. Okay. And I will tell you, I love when manufacturers put these dots so we know where to cut. It makes it so much easier. Blank Quilting has this group called Autumn Blessings. The studio name is Silas M Studio. I love this print. I think this would make such good, this would totally match the decorations in my house. Now, what would I make with it? I don't know. And then this is one that would be really pretty if you cut it up and put it on a border, or it could be sashing. Pumpkin patch, and then acorns. We have a pattern called Simple Strips Panel Quilt Pattern. It's a completely free pattern, and that would look really good with the panel that I showed. That's the hydrangea or any of those other panels that are 23 inches wide. It's a pretty beginner pattern, completely free, and we have a video for it. So that's what I would do if you have a panel that has one big image. And then this is the panel that goes with Autumn Blessings. This one is more of a square panel. So this one wouldn't work with the pattern I just mentioned. I mean, I guess it could technically, but this is more of, you would cut this up to make pillows. I mean, that would be so cute in a pillow. I still have my Easter decorations up, so I have a lot to do. Okay, this is called Wicked. Now, this collection, some of these SKUs are old, some are new. Every year, Timeless Treasures comes out with a collection called Wicked. It is always a combination of new SKUs and old SKUs. So what we do is we just buy it each year. Oh no, I'm just gonna flip on by. It's very scary. I'm sure Jordan likes this. I have it upside down, but it's very scary. It sells great every year. Okay, Jordan, you need to stop. I'm not gonna say what he just did. Is this a, I think this is, yeah, I don't think it's a pattern. Ugh, this fabric, it kills me. This always sells good. This is a repeat. This, I will sell you. Okay, so this is Wicked, but we buy it every year. And we have for probably 8 years. It's, Kevin and I always think, what do you make with it? But I think people, you know, they make Halloween. I think it's, you know, I don't know if you'd make a quilt out of it, but snack bags, I don't know. I should put that in my kid's bed. That would be funny. And this one's a haunted house. It's also 23 inches wide. So you gotta walk in. Look, the scary guy. Ah! Go away. Okay, then we have All Our Hearts by Maywood Studio. Oh, a scary cape. Oh, that'd be funny. Okay, let me. Kevin loves Halloween. He does, but he's not, no. Yeah, he does love Halloween. Drives me crazy. But I still have Easter up. And I really need to decorate and take it down, but I have so many decorations at this point, and I haven't been home enough to even have 2 hours of time. I mean, it'd probably take me 4 or 5 hours to put it up, and then 4 or 5 hours to put the next one up. So I have to figure out when I'm gonna do that. So this is All Our Hearts. So lighter and darker. so this is all our hearts. And then I have one other thing to show you, and then we will be done for the day. This one has a lot of prints. It's gonna be harder to put back. The next decorations I will put up is, I'll just put up July 4th, Memorial Day. I could put up spring, but I kind of just skipped it. And then the last thing to show you is people have been making stickers, and I thought these were really cute. These are just quilt stickers, and I think you would just put them on note cards, or you would put them on your sewing machine. I just thought they were cute. And they come, basically when you peel them off, you just peel from the back and they're just cute. So that's super cute. So just make sure you follow us on social media. So next week I will be in the H&H show in Chicago. We will be showing lots of stuff on social media. I will miss you guys. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you again next week. It will be pre-recorded, but then I'll be live the week after. So I'll see you then. Bye.